Hi and welcome to another video from eSaleshub. I'm Mark Taylor, the CEO of eSaleshub. Probably noticed that I've got a slightly dodgy voice, slight cold, but I'm sure I can get through this video, so don't panic just yet. Now then, one of the things we regularly get asked is how do I create the optimum script? So eSaleshub is all about driving inbound calls, and as I've said in previous videos, we're really only as good as the person that's answering the phone. So you've got to get your team set up to be able to take inbound calls, which is never easy. And if you're running an inbound and an outbound call center or just an outbound call center, you need to make sure you got a separate team. But also, you got to make sure the team is set up correctly, because if you use the same outbound script on an inbound call, you'll end up losing sales. We found that with a client, an estate agent customer last year. And simply they were using their outbounding script on an inbound, and you could hear the customer getting irate. It was taking a minute and a half almost before they could say anything. And bearing in mind this is the customer phoning in, you've got to let the customer speak. So we've just designed this video just real simply to take you through what our view is, a good scripting process. So it feels like it's a little bit like Fight Club, but basically. Our opinion is that the first rule of the Fight Club is never talk about it. First rule of having a sales script is throw it away. It is our genuine belief that actually scripting doesn't work, because people buy from people, even if it's on the phone. And I have to say that if you have a script, you guys to use the script, they will sound, like a Dalek. Essentially, they won't sound natural. The person won't have trust, belief, faith in them, and therefore, if you're trying to sell something on the phone, what's the first thing you need? It's trust, because obviously they can't see you, and if it's scripted, it's my belief that you won't get that trust. Now, one of the call centers that we work with is a company called Moneypenny, and they do exactly the same thing. They never script anything. They have some guidelines on the screen as to what they want their call handlers to go through, but they never use a script. And when you listen to them take calls, they really, really are professional and really do a fantastic job. So the first thing we do is throw away script. Okay, but how do you still frame the call? How do you get the customer talking? How do you make sure your sales staff still deliver those all-important sales for you? Well, the first thing we always say is, what does the customer want? It sounds really, really simple and such a simple thing to say, but actually they're phoning you, particularly an inbound call, the customer is phoning you, so you need to get them to talk and talk as much as you possibly can to explain exactly what they want. So, what is it you want? So, hi, it's Mark Taylor. Thank you very much for calling. How can I help today? Exactly, asking what does the customer wants. Once the customer has delivered to you exactly what they're after, exactly what they're looking for, and again, what I suggest is you have a notepad near your phone so you can write down and revisit exactly what they want. The next question we find is really beneficial is, when does the customer want whatever it is they want? Now, the reason why we get clients to ask this question is this tells you when they're in market. So if they're looking for a mortgage today, they're going to pretty much want to make a decision. They're going to be further down the buying funnel. But if they're looking for a mortgage in 3 months' time, well, then actually they're not going to be that keen on making a decision. They are probably looking for more information. So basically by asking them, it tells you where they are in terms of the market. Is it something they want straight away? Is it something that they want in a couple of different months? Because depending on what they tell you, this depends on how you respond back and how you pitch them. Because obviously if they want to make a decision today, you're going to have to go through quite a bit of information to get that. You may not go through the same information if they want the product in 3 to 4 weeks or indeed 6 months. So it's definitely the second question to ask. The third question is, have they had a quote before? And if so, how much was it? Now, why do people go to the internet? Well, they go to the internet because, and they look for companies. Why do they do that? Well, basically it's because they don't know anybody and they've not been recommending anybody. So the first person that meets their requirements, whether it be time, whether it be money, they're going to choose, right? Because what Google does, it pretty much strips out your brand and you just become one of many pretty much on a list from Google. So by asking them if they've had a quote before again, is going to tell you what you're up against. And what I mean by that is it's going to give you a competitive edge. So what it means is if you're the first person that they phoned, you're going to be able to find out by asking this question rather than saying, hey, have you phoned anybody else? Have you had a quote before? No, you're the first person I've spoken to. The chances are they may well try and shop around unless you really do hit them with a price that they're very, very happy with. If there's any doubt about the price, they're going to shop around. So, booking a callback, one of the tactics we always use, is a really, really good tool. That if you're the first person they've spoken to, booking a callback is a great way to get them converted. Not everybody is going to tell you how much they've been quoted, but that's why we always use question 4, which is budget. Now, if they have been quoted before, there is a reason why they've not chosen that quote straight off the bat. And this question will flush out exactly where, why was that? It'll either be speed or price, pretty much. It could be specification, but usually in our experience, it's, well, I could get the price I wanted, but he couldn't do it for 4 weeks, or, I couldn't get the rate I wanted, therefore I'm still shopping around. And asking someone what their budget is, and I always remember one of our clients, a guy called Jeff Longley, Mr. Electric Birmingham, when I taught his sales guys to ask this question, he told me I had a story about the next day they walked up to a property. The woman needed a home rewire, which would normally cost around £4,000. They went through the questions, and they asked the question, what are you looking to spend? What's your budget? And she actually said, well, actually, I've only got £1,500. Now, because they asked that question, they were able to work out they needed to do a partial rewire, and therefore they could do a partial rewire for £1,500. Whereas every other person they were up against quoted £4,000, £5,000, £6,000, because they hadn't understood the requirements of the customer in the first place, in the fact that their budget was only £1,500. So how could she get a rewire for £1,500? Now, without you asking that question, you're never really going to know where they are in the market in terms of price. But in asking this question, quite simply, is you will flush out where they are. Now, it might be that budget is unrealistic. It might be that they want to spend too little. But then again, it's your opportunity to talk them up to your price. I know it's quite difficult in sales to talk people up, but actually framing questions and framing the information you give in terms of the market rate and what you're going to get for your money versus what you're going to get for a higher rate is absolutely the thing that we would suggest to do. And this is a very, very simple formula that we get most of our clients to use, that when they adopt this, it does require you to think a little bit more on the spot. It does require you to deliver more ad hoc, if you like, sales scripting. And this takes time to learn. This isn't going to be taught in a day of just taking someone through a script. It's going to take someone time to understand your business. So if you're a business owner, getting your sales team to do this, it will take regular training and regular catching up and regular reviewing of recorded calls so that people can listen to, right, did you ask the questions? How would you responded, in a different way? And that way you can build up your sales team over time. But definitely by using this format, we tend to find that people do get, a 40 to 50% sales conversion straight off the bat from one of our leads. The really, really good ones get around 70 to 80% conversion because they've been using this formula for a number of different months, and they've honed their skills and they really understand the business and they know exactly how to pitch the customer to win the business. So I hope you found eSaleshub video useful on sales scripting. And as always, please do feel free to comment in the box below or contact us directly if you'd like to know any more. Thank you for watching our video.